Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Whispering Palette. Tonight I'm going to do some random flowers and animal, and I'm just planning to do some very basic and beginner level watercolor painting that every beginner can does. So don't worry about the level, just grab your paper, your brush and your paints and you can paint along with me. I'm just trying to stay away from complications and just doing a very simple, enjoyable watercolor painting. Um, I was planning to do a painting on the paper and then divide the paper into for bookmarks. But first, let's do some painting and then we decide to do, if you want to do the bookmark, we can just cut them. Okay, tonight I'm using these two brush. One of them is NIF, half-inch brush, and the other one is a smaller brush and the dagger brush, and the brand is NIF as well. So the watercolor I'm using tonight is KUHE NUR watercolor. It's very affordable, it's not expensive, and actually you can buy this from any art shop. It has very strong and vibrant colors as well. Okay, so let's get started. Sorry, I forgot to tell that I have another palette tonight. I bought this from eBay and the product name is Pearl Solid Watercolor, and I think it's a Chinese brand, and it's kind of sparkly. So let's see what we can get from this palette. Normally these sparkly watercolors are very pale, but let's see if this one is not pale. I'm just spraying some water and to activate the paints. And okay, let's get started. First of all, I'm doing a very cute cat. Okay, you can paint. I just want you to see the paints, the paper and the palette, and also the mixing paper I'm using tonight is this one. This is Montmartre brand. This is not a mixing. Actually, this is paper we use this for mixing the colors. So I just put this one here. I want you to see the whole my my tools, paper, colors. Later, if you want to see the details in the watercolor painting, you can always zoom in your mobile phone or in your iPad or device. Okay, so first let's do a very cute animal, which is a cat. So I want to do a wet in wet technique cute cat. So I just wet my paper and I start with yellow color, and I just try to shape the animal silhouette, putting color where I think it should be. And as you see, because the paper is wet, it's now I'm doing this with a wet in wet technique. So I needed orange color. My orange color was dirty, just a bit. Okay, I put the color, and because paper is wet, it's giving me some very fine texture and soft edges. I don't have any hard edges. here is paper is dry. Because of that, you can see it's giving me hard edge. I don't want hard edges, so I spray water to get soft edges, and I let the color spread. Okay, so this is my cat. I'm going to gradually add some dark color in some areas, but I just need to get a dark color, maybe black color or gray. And as you see, the paint is just with wet in wet technique, color bleeds, and it's giving me very beautiful soft texture and edges. I just soften the edges with my brush. I keep the belly area white, so I lift the color from here and preserving this white area. You know, cats have white belly. And I'm just trying to add more orange, especially to the edges, because the edge of the shape, every shape should be darker than the middle. So I'm just randomly adding some darker colors around my shape. And again, this is called wet in wet technique. Okay, so because the paper is wet, I can't put the detail of the face like eyes and nose, so I have to wait for this one to be dry. And while it's getting dry, size of the tail, because I'm going to add later I'm going to add like a flower to the tail. And also because I have a space here, I do some flowers. Maybe very simple wet in wet technique flower. Okay, here. I start with very dark, very light wash pink. And as you see, the petals I'm doing is very simple. I just put a dot, and then with clean water I drag the paint and I make the shape of the petal. It's not something difficult. It's very easy if you want to do it. And then I add some colors to the petals and let the paint bleed into the petal and creates that texture for me. I'm just zooming here that you can see. Also, I add some paint to these petals and it bleeds. And here I help the paint to go out and make the shape of the petal with clean water. I just drag the paint. Okay, now I go to maybe green color, very thick color, and just doing a very, very thin line. And because my paper is wet in some areas, especially around the petals, the green bleeds into the petal and it gives me beautiful textures. Maybe another one here. I add the stem and later I add the flower. This is a very enjoyable process, especially for kids. Kids love to do watercolor painting, and because there are so many accidents happens in watercolor, especially because we use the water, so it's very enjoyable for children, and it's kind of therapy. I know that nowadays children are using devices like mobiles, iPads, and it's very hard to control the time and limit them. But if you give them some watercolor and paper, I'm sure they will definitely enjoy it more than device, because I had some workshops for children and they really loved it. And they were actually really good, because even though it was their first time doing watercolor, but because I taught them the technique, they got it very, very quickly and they created very beautiful paintings. And who really doesn't enjoy this? It's very enjoyable. Just when you are stressed out and you want some therapy instead of eating tablets, I think you should get your watercolor and just do some paintings and enjoy it. And let the watercolor heal. It's very actually like medicine. It's healing, very enjoyable. So I think now I can get back to my cat here and I can add some more details like that, the face features. So paper is wet, still wet, but I can, because you know, sometimes it takes time, watercolor takes time to dry. You can use hair dryer, or you can get up a piece of tissue, and because I'm going to put some eyes here, face feature, I can lift the wetness, the water, and now it's dry and I can put the face features. It doesn't hurt, okay? It's okay to do that. So I want to have a very cute cat, so now I'm just adding the face features. So here almost dry, and let's see if it is wet and my paint is spread. No, it's good. You see, it doesn't spread. So it means that I can put the face features. And now I want a red nose. And I want to get the whiskers. too much color, just a bit less color. And I can do the ears. It is red inside the ears of the cats, so I'm just trying to have red here. And then I can add some fur. Okay. Now just doing the hands. Hands and legs. So this is just a very cute painting, just for relaxation and enjoying. This is the palette I said. It's watercolor painting, sparkly. I just bought this from Temu. I haven't used it before. I don't know if the color is good or not, but we can just try it. I'm just splashing some. Oh, very nice color actually. The gold is very beautiful. I can splash some gold on my cat. And this is very nice. If I draw a baby cat here with this gold color and maybe using this color as well. Oh, that's very nice. I thought the color would be very pale, but it's not. It has a very good pigments actually. Okay, this is my baby cat. Okay, because this is wet, I cannot put the face features yet, but later I can add that. I'm just grabbing some blue and just doing some splash over here. And actually it's very beautiful color. Okay, I now can put some background colors. When the baby cat is dry, I can add the face feature later. Okay, so this is a very simple watercolor painting. Every beginner can do it, and also it's good for children. Children will definitely enjoy this. So I'm going to do another painting and concentrating more on flowers. Alright, so for flower, I'm just planning to do a very simple flower, not a hard one. So you can suggest me what kind of flower you like the best. I have so many videos in my channel and so many tutorials for different type of flowers. Roses, hydrangeas, just wild flowers and random flowers. So I'm planning to do maybe a hydrangea flower. Alright, so I always start with wet in wet technique. I spray water on my paper because I always like to get a smooth edges and soft edges. I don't like hard edges in my painting. There are some artists which start with dry paper, but it's not my style, and I always like to start with wet paper. And I'm just going to splash some colors randomly. I don't see, actually, to be honest, I don't select pigments, and because my palette is so dirty, I don't know what color is this or this or this. I just randomly splash color to see what colors they are, and maybe I do a pink flower for now, so I use more pink here. And as I said, I don't have any sketch, and I'm just trying to do the flower from my imagination. So you should always decide where to put the flowers. I'm going to have one flower here and maybe another one here. So in different levels. All right, so if you have the source of light from top, then I have lighter color on top and darker color to the bottom part. Okay, so I add more color here because this area should be darker, and also here. So these are going to be my hydrangea flower silhouette. This is just a silhouette for now. Okay, now I need some leaves in wetness. Okay, so this is, you see, this is background, and background is wet, and because my background is wet, the colors just go everywhere, they bleed, and they just create beautiful textures for me, which is very lovely. And this is the beauty of watercolor, very enjoyable. You just splash and get beautiful textures later. Now I'm going to have using this mixing papers. Okay, so now I spray here because here is dry. I want wet paper. All right, this is my style to start from wet in wet technique. I add some dark colors here and some yellows and greens. some random shapes, and then I make negative technique leaf out of these colors here. Okay, now I grab a little bit darker green and I just randomly add some dark, not everywhere, just a few dots. Later you will see what happens. So I soften these all edges. I don't want to see any hard edges in the first layer. So I just grab with my brush with clean water and softening all those edges. Okay, all these green areas are for later, because later I'm going to make some negative technique leaves out of these. But now I can't do that because it's too wet. I have to wait for this to be a bit dry. So I go back to the flowers now and I try to make some of my petals. With very thick color. I just add some petals. This is hydrangea flower, so just randomly to the bottom part it should be darker, and as I go up it gets lighter. Okay, I wash my brush, and because I want to make dark petals here, I mean light petal. So because it's already dark, I grab a piece of tissue and I try to lift some of the color to see if I can get lighter area here, and yes, it's working. Now it's lighter. And that's okay, because if you imagine light is coming from this side, okay, I have some highlight here, I preserved some white here, but this flower, because it's under the leaves, so it should be a bit darker than this one. This one is my focal point and the darkest, the lightest subject. And here I just do some light. This is negative technique. Negative technique means you build shapes out of the light color by putting dark color around them. And a bit of between these I'm making small petals. You know, those petals are stacked. So when you look at flowers in nature, you see some dark holes. So I'm just doing those dark holes as well, especially the hydrangea flower. And now going to this one. This one is my darkest my lightest subject, because it's in light source. So I will have very, very light shapes. And I always try to not to do a perfect circle. It's not good to do a perfect circle. It should be just random, like trying to avoid being perfect circle. And I soften these colors here. No hard edges yet. And for this part, too wet. My brush was too wet. Actually here is wet, so I should use less water to have more control. You know, you should look at your paper. If it's too wet and shiny, get a thick color with less water. Otherwise, the paint will bleed, and it doesn't. Then you don't have any control on what you are doing. Or easiest is you wait for the shine of the paper to go. It means the water will be absorbed by paper, and then you have your more control. And when you get more control, it's easier to get these petals. And as I said, dark holes, just a bit of dark holes. Shadows and dark holes are the main features in every painting. Every painting needs light, mid-tones and dark tones. I'm just softening these edges. These are my shadows under shadows of the flower and leaves. So it's going to be a dark area. Now I can make leaves here with negative technique and a dark color. Okay, let's see, for example, a big, large leaf here. And then with clean water, just soften these edges. And maybe another one here. Again, softening the edges. Later I can make more leaves when this one is dry. Now it's wet and I can't do much. I have to wait for this one. I can make another one later here, but I have to be careful and use less water. Okay, let's make another leaf here. If you are enjoying the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like my videos, and subscribe the channel. I'm going to have tutorials 3 to 4 times a week. So subscribe to my channel that you don't lose it and you can have access to the videos. I think I'm going to do another leaf here. And now I'm going to do some stems as well. Okay, if I put some dark color here, I can get some stems here as well. And also maybe here I just put add some dark colors to give more definition to this leaf. Another leaf here. I can have another leaf here as well. It's very enjoyable to do watercolor. It's like, for me, it's like relaxing tablets. Very, very enjoyable. It's very relaxing, and you know, nowadays there's something called art therapy for people who have mental issues or people who are struggling with so many issues in their lives. I run workshops for people in community centers, and it's just the magic that painting does is wonderful, and they are very happy with the result because it's very relaxing for them. And when you do watercolor painting, they just all forget about their stuff and they just concentrate on painting. So okay, so this is positive leaf. When I say positive, means I paint the leaf by brush with dark color or light color. But when I say negative, means I make a leaf out of light color by putting dark color around it, like this one. If I want to make, this is negative technique leaf I'm going to make here, look. This is the difference. I hope you now understand the difference between negative leaf and positive leaf. Okay, so this is positive leaf because I drawed it. All right, another one here, positive leaf. Okay, but if I make a leaf here by putting dark color around this light shape, it is called negative technique. Look, this is called negative technique leaf. And then I can soften these edges, or I can put like some more leaves. Another technique I can do is with a palette knife, or if you don't have a palette knife, you can use your nail, or even you can use a credit card and scratch some of the colors. So I don't have palette knife, I'm just using normal knife. So look, if I want to get a stem here, see what happens? I scratch some of the colors, and then I can get very beautiful stem here, or here, maybe one here, and maybe a few random stems. Okay, I'm now going to do a branch for my tree. This is kind of coming from a tree somewhere. If you make a mistake in watercolor, don't be scared. Just grab a piece of tissue and always lift the color. It it's not an issue. You know, if you made a mistake, just take the color, remove it. And this is my stem, I mean my branch. So I'm just looking for my, I think this is brown color. I can use this brown color here. Yes, it's brown. And another one here, maybe another branch here. I put the color, then I soften the edges. And as I said, every shape, every single shape in watercolor needs a dimension. And dimension, you can get dimension only by adding dark color as a shadow below the object, every object. This is going to be my stem or branch. And with clean water, just drag the color, and you know, it gives you exactly a cylindrical shape like a branch. You can see how cylindrical shape is, the cylindrical shape. All right, I think that's it for tonight. So it's never too late to ruin a watercolor painting. Sometimes we need to stop working and just look at it. I thought maybe I can get more leaves, more petals here, but definitely I try to preserve my whites because that is the source of light here. So I preserve these highlights and I go around them. Yeah, that's it for tonight. Please subscribe the channel. You can go back always and watch the live. All these live tutorials are saved in the live section of my channel. So subscribe the channel that you don't lose my channel, and you can always watch the videos and zoom in and see the techniques and learn and paint along. And I will be very happy if I hear from you in the comments and tell me if you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for joining to my live demonstration, and I see you in the next video. Bye.